Comedian and podcaster Tom Segura is hitting the road. Catch him when he brings his Come Together tour to the XL Energy Center on Friday, April 18th. Don't miss out on this hilarious night of comedy. Tickets are on sale now. Get the full details at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
All right, so help me here at Parker Fox 24. First and foremost, good morning.
Good morning, PA.
Secondly, how's Taylor?
She's great. Yeah, she's great.
Back from Lake Placid?
Yeah, she's home for a while now, gearing up for the year, and we'll have it's hockey time. It's it's getting colder. It's basketball time. It's hockey time. It's an exciting time of year in our household.
Okay. Thirdly, if now that I've seen the video, Max's musings hit me with something with which I was not familiar. Dante DiVincenzo and Rick Brunson, Jalen's dad, who's an assistant coach with Tibbs Knicks, looking at the little post game. You know, they walk by, shake hands. Zach Eady, great job, blah, blah, blah. I'm Parker Fox, next guy, so on and so on. I'm not sure Dante wanted any of Rick Brunson. And I know looking at it now, Rick wanted a lot of Dante Devin. I don't know what was exchanged between those two. This so rarely happens in the preseason. But, like, if somebody barks at you like that and then takes it to the next level and for whatever the reason gets personal, how you handle something like that?
This is a preseason game, right? That's another thing we got to kind of take into account here. This isn't the Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals, or in this case, it would be an NBA Finals with a Western team and an Eastern team. But, if it's me personally, I'm trying to take the higher road here. You know how it gets. You know how this social media world is now. They're gonna put the blame on one of the people, right? That's just the way it kind of goes. And in my situation here, I'm watching this video, it seems like I'm putting the blame on a Rick Brunson. It seems that, Dante DiVincenzo is, post game, he's hugging it out with Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's got his arm around him. Deuce McBride is right there talking to him. Bridges is kind of just smiling. And then Rick Brunson almost like tears through 3 or 4 people. Bridges is holding him back. He's patting him on the back.
So this might have had some history.
Yeah, this definitely
from when Dante played there.
This definitely had some history. Max highlighted that Dante wasn't as high on the Villanova reunion as some of the other guys were, and then also we fast forward to just little chippiness throughout the game. Dante DiVincenzo had some comments at the free throw line a couple times. Post game, he said that he didn't say what he actually said, so I'll let other people speculate on that. But just a little hostility that it almost seems unneeded. This should be kind of a happy to see each other, and I think it did turn into that. I saw that they all went out to dinner after the game, and
they did.
And Kat and Rudy had a picture with their girlfriends or wives after the game at a restaurant. So I think it simmered out, but you can just see that hostility in Rick Brunson more than anybody else, in my opinion.
It's Paul Allen. Happy to be here in the 651 Carpets Plus studios with the host and co-host of Allen with the Homies. Don't get this opportunity too often. We got the analyst, P. Fox. We got the host, Maxwell Fuller, and here they are.
I had to let one go for you, PA.
Do we hootie who in the preseason?
Yeah, why not? Because I'm fired up after that game. I'm fired up just seeing another player on this Wolves roster that's got that dog in him like that, man. I think he's going to fit in. Not only just personality-wise, fit in well with this team, but the more I see DiVincenzo in this preseason, the more I realize just how key of a cog he's going to be to the Wolves' success this season. I mean, not just scoring. We all know that he's a 3-point magician, but his playmaking is super underrated, man, and his movement just really, I think it just adds a whole different layer to this offense, Parker.
Yeah, it definitely does, and I think if you watch this game, I think it highlights, what this season is going to look like. The Knicks had a little animosity. If you watched yesterday, Thibodeau kind of felt some sort of way. Still had his starters in end of the third quarter when it was just bench guys for the Wolves. Was running 5 deep with his starters there, trying to put it on the Timberwolves. In my opinion,
maybe he's trying to get stuff together. He's without Mitchell Robinson, pushing Cat off his center.
Yep.
And Bridges is new, so maybe he's just trying to find that cohesion.
You're definitely right. You're definitely right. But I think what Max highlighted too, when we talk about the Wolves, because we are Wolves centered, we are Wolves fans around here. Just the dog that DiVincenzo brings, and we haven't even seen seen Julius Randle yet. He hasn't played yet. Supposedly he's going to be playing next preseason game. That's the word from Chris Finch. But just the energy, the excitement, the kind of tough mentality that those two bring, replacing our precious kitty cat, Karl Anthony Towns. But I'm really excited about the demeanor that these two guys bring in, and it seems like Donte DiVincenzo didn't take crap from no one. So I loved his attitude in this Knicks game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of these preseason ones look like. We got the Bulls Wednesday, October 16th, and then we follow that up with the Nuggets on Thursday, October 17th here in the preseason.
We got a preseason game against the team to beat in the division.
We do.
Holy cow!
Yeah, and it was supposed to be.
Yeah, welcome to U.S. Bank Stadium for the second preseason game. The Green Bay Packers are in town. What the heck? What were you saying, Pete Fox?
Well, it was supposed to be conflicted with the
Lynx.
The Lynx deal, and they had to move that game back.
It's not the Lynx deal, honey. They're playing for the WNBA championship.
And I am as big of a fan. I haven't missed.
Really?
Haven't missed a.
I'm gonna tell Taylor you're talking like that.
Hey, Taylor, you should see Taylor at the game. She's fired up.
I know, because she treats it like a championship, not just the Paul, the Lynx deal. It's called Game 3 of the championship series.
She's been in them more than I have, so she knows it better, I guess.
Wow.
I was hoping they would move this Timberwolves Nuggets game to Williams Arena. I thought that would have been pretty cool. I don't know
that
if
would
you
have been
guys
sweet.
I don't know if you guys watched, but
until Jokic walks off the elevated floor, twists an ankle, and he's out for a month and a half, and somebody gets sued.
Probably smart not to do that one, but it was pretty cool to see. I don't know if you guys watched, but the Phoenix Suns traveled to Breslin Center at Michigan State to play the Detroit Pistons. So it was kind of a cool deal at a college arena.
So it was a Pistons home game?
Yeah, it was a Pistons home game.
Did the Pistons have Max's guy? Detroit basketball. That's their public address announcer, if you listen closely enough.
Oh, yeah, he's fired up.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's the best. Yeah, he's the best. And our own Eric Curry is now on their coaching staff as well, former Gopher basketball player. So. Okay,
howling with the homies. The homies are Max Fuller and Parker Fox at Parker Fox 24 via Twitter. Homies, time for you to howl on this. Rob Dillingham. What are we seeing in the preseason? Lickety split quick. Does he look like he gets it a little bit? Dillingham, though.
Yeah, I think he's going to be an instant spark off this offense. And just like going off the Donte DiVincenzo thing, I think that there was so much of the playmaking responsibility that was in the hands of Mike Conley, especially early on in the season, that I think that a lot of that is going to be out of his hands. Not necessarily like we want him out of the game, but it's not going to be as taxing of a role for him because we have a guy like Dillingham who looks ready out there, PA. I mean, he's just as fast as anybody else. He looks like once he starts to get his shot a little settled down, that he's going to be instant offense coming off of that bench, and he's a playmaker, man. And not only DiVincenzo, not only Dillingham, but I noticed a little bit of playmaking ability with Joe Ingles yesterday, going out of his way to make sure people are getting involved, and he's going to kind of assume that Kyle Anderson role. Obviously, we're going to expect a lot more shooting and scoring out of him, but his veteran presence is going to be a big key to this Wolves offense flowing consistently, because I think you can agree, Parker, there was times a lot of times during the regular season where the Wolves offense kind of just devolved into Anthony Edwards save us, Karl Anthony Towns save us, or Naz Reid save us, whereas the Wolves, they haven't reached their true ceiling yet and what they can be offensively. And I think guys like Joe Ingles and Rob Dillingham coming off the bench are going to help keep this offense flowing way more consistently than it was last year.
Yeah, and if you know anything about Chris Finch, he's a guy that wants that flow, that consistency. He wants a point guard out there leading his team. As much as we love Anthony Edwards with the ball in his hands, and it's going to come down to that a lot. I think to win games deep in the playoff, Anthony Edwards is going to have to be the best player in the NBA, which you and me both believe he is.
Yeah.
But consistently throughout this season, Chris Finch wants a point guard. He wants a ball distributor with the ball in his hands. Obviously, Mike Conley plays that role, but Mike's getting older now. His minutes are, probably going to go down a little bit this year. Who steps up in that role? Okay, we bring in a veteran like Joe Ingles, who's got a high basketball IQ. He can set the floor for anybody. We bring in a tough, gritty guy like Donte DiVincenzo with a high basketball IQ, and then we bring in the rookie phenom from Kentucky and Rob Dillingham, who he doesn't have any pressure on him, man. He doesn't need to come in and play 25 minutes and set the table for everybody.
Yeah, we're not asking him to be the savior of the franchise. franchise.
Exactly right. He can just come in, be the best version of himself, learn from a veteran like Mike Conley and Joe Ingles. And then also, if you watched the game yesterday, Dante DiVincenzo was coaching him up pre-game and on the sideline. So I think it's a really good opportunity for Rob Dillingham to kind of have a stress-free year where he can just go and explore. And you know how it is with rookies, man. It takes time. It's the NBA. It's big boy basketball out there.
In closing here on this topic, massage your elite NBA minds and envision what you think the offense is going to look like when Julius Randle is playing 27 to 32 minutes a game. So Naz Reid he'll get more than last year, but maybe not as much as some think. And with Randle starting, so just like with Conley and Edwards. And where do we go from there? McDaniels, Gobert, Julius, DiVincenzo off the bench?
Yeah.
No, we're deep.
Rob Dillingham, DiVincenzo, Naz Reid off the bench?
Right.
Yeah. And a Terrence Shannon Jr. that we haven't mentioned yet either.
Right.
Who might struggle to find minutes because this team is so deep.
Exactly.
So the offense with Randle, who, we're not going to hit him with black hole terrorism here, but he'll get it. He'll pound it with that sweet left, and he wants to score. It's Anthony's team. So what do you guys think?
Well, I start in the front court, and Max, you can hit on the back court, but for me, the front court, it obviously, we're going to start a guy like Julius Randle. Finch has already made that apparent. Julius is coming in to be our starting four. And then you go with Rudy Gobert, who his minutes are usually around, 32 to 36 a game, depending on his health. But, he's been a guy that stayed healthy. So your 1-2 punch in the starting lineup is going to be Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle. And then we bring in Big Jelly, our guy Naz Reid off the bench. Expect Naz to be right around that 20 to 24 minute mark, playing a little 4, playing a little 5 as well. And then a guy like Josh Minot, who we saw yesterday playing a lot of minutes, a younger guy that's super athletic, super bouncy, gives the team a little bit of a different look in terms of athleticism in the front court. And then kind of rounding out that front court, it's, what final piece is that going to be? Could that be a Luka Garza for a couple minutes? Could that be a Leonard Miller for a couple minutes? Could that be a Keita Bates-Diop? I look to see Luka Garza maybe make a little bit more splash this year with this Wolves roster, but that's what I look at in terms of the front court. If Maxwell wants to hit on that back court,
I'm actually super curious on that note, Parker, about who subs in for Rudy Gobert coming off of that bench. Is it a Minot or is it a Garza? I'm super curious to how they handle that, and I think this Wolves team is so deep that there's going to be a lot of players coming off that bench that are essentially going to be like pseudo starters almost, because we have so many different kinds of players that he's going to have to kind of be mad scientist with the lineups a little bit and put this guy in this spot and this guy in this spot and kind of experiment to see with what works. But I would imagine that DiVincenzo and Randle, not just because of their playing experience over in New York together, but I would imagine that they will be on the court at the same time for a lot of different reasons, mainly because spacing, because if you look at that starting 5, as good and as deep as this Wolves team is, that starting 5 is not necessarily striking fear into the hearts of opposing defenses.
Bottom line here with the world of basketball is this weekend. I think it's Saturday. You go beaver hunting this weekend, right?
Yeah, we do.
Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday at noon.
Saturday at noon. Here comes Bemidji State. We have an exhibition. Then we get a little time off. Then we play again. But I don't know how much work you've put into the Bemidji State Beaver basketball team. I just started looking at the roster right now. I don't know if this guy plays, but you might want to start thinking about Malang Athian.
Oh gosh,
you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Well, he's a graduate student. He's like you. Okay, so he's been there. He's 6'7", 191. Melbourne, Australia. Potter's House Christian High School, then Cloud County Community College, played at Maryland Eastern Shore for a minute. He may not even play, but he's 6'7". So I was looking for like some veterans and players who may give you some problems. But when you come into a game like this, what's the preparation like?
Yeah, I think, anytime you play a preseason game like this, it's just an opportunity to, get different guys on the court, get them familiar with actual, basketball game. We've been playing against each other for, months now, going at each other and, the chippiness. And it's like, it's time to finally face somebody else, which is exciting for us as a team. Obviously, you anytime you play a game, anytime you're between the lines, you want to win the game. So we're going to spend this week preparing, getting our offense ready, getting our defense ready, whatever kind of scout situations we need. But at the same time, it's a preseason game. So we want to make sure we get guys that, haven't really been in that situation yet, opportunities to get out there and experience what it's like to play in an actual game at Williams Arena on the raised court, all that kind of fun stuff. But big picture, we want to win basketball games. So that's the goal, and we're going to put the guys out there that allow us to do that.
How's Dawson doing?
Yeah, Dawson's great. He had that little injury in the early part of summer, but he's completely healthy now, fully healthy. He's been full go for a while now, and he's doing really well. He's prepped, obviously the preseason picked him to be, first team all league and, all that kind of stuff. And, that's what we expect from him. And, that's what he expects of himself. We want to put Dawson in a position to give him a chance to win Big Ten Player of the Year. Only time you win Big Ten Player of the Year is if you, are competing in, your first, high level Big Ten team. You gotta be able to win games to get, individual accolades. So Dawson knows that, and, look forward to Dawson having a huge year for us.
Parker, holy cow. With this roster, so many new names.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how many you got a lot of transfers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The portal. There's a PA in portal, and this will be my favorite college basketball team. So the portal has been quite prevalent for Ben Johnson and this team. So from any of these new players, who's jumping out at you where you're like, damn, holy cow, I'd heard of this guy, never watched him play. He's good.
Yeah, no, we have a lot. Obviously, with the way NIL and this market space has kind of gone for, college basketball, it's free agency every year, and we see a lot of flip-flopping, and we see a lot of jumping, and a lot of different stuff when it comes to, this team. But I think, obviously you look at what we had last year in a returner like Mike Mitchell Jr., Dawson Garcia, and Caden Betts, three guys that, and myself are, looking forward to coming back for another year for the Gophers. And then you bring in some transfers, right? Obviously one guy, that I want to highlight right away is Lukai Patterson. Going to be, our point guard and the guy that kind of sets the table for us. He's a Minnesota guy, Minneapolis kid, played for Minnesota Prep / Brooklyn Center growing up. So he's a guy that's coming back home. We're super excited about Lukai. I got a transfer out of Oregon, Brennan Rigsby, super athletic wing, can shoot it, kind of hit the mid-range too, scores at all three levels. Femi Odukale out of Brooklyn, New York, played at Pitt, played at New Mexico State, played at some high-level schools. So, he's an experienced graduate student that is going to give us some depth. And then our two bigs that we brought in, and Frank Mitchell and Trey Edmonds, both kind of played at that mid-major last year and dominated their level, and looking forward to seeing the physicality that they can bring to the Big Ten. So a lot of really good pieces.
Parker, who are the best two teams in the Big Ten, if you had to pick them right now?
Yeah, we're probably looking at, Purdue. They played a national championship last year. They lost Zach Edey, but, still a really good team. They reload every year. And then probably a team that in Indiana, they brought a couple transfers in. They got a couple guys that are still there. So I look at Purdue and Indiana along with every year Michigan State's good. So it's those premier teams in the Big Ten that you want a chance to knock off.
So for you, your final year of college basketball, what are some important things for you? Like from whether you win the NCAA tournament or you miss all the postseason tournaments. Like this is a big year for you, man. I'm not saying basketball is going to stop after this, but if you think back to, when your parents were driving you to games at 5, 6, 7 to now, it's emotional for parents too. Yeah. It's going to be emotional for Taylor too. And like everybody in your family, but you're you. So you have a singular focus here to help your team win, help your team compete, help your team win. But all along, every game you knock down, if you got 35 of them, well, now I might have 34 in my life. and 33 and 32. I don't know, man. I think that's I think it's not sad because you're blessed to do what you do. Exactly. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Who knows what my future looks like for basketball? Obviously, I want to pursue it after this and try to be a professional basketball player. But, with 2 major knee surgeries and, kind of a couple setbacks that altered my career a little bit, it's kind of changed the player I am. So I think this year for me, the biggest thing is just really just having fun with it. Experiencing all the experiences again. Obviously, I didn't know if I was going to come back for another year at the U. Took part in senior day, kind of said my goodbyes, and then kind of flipped it 180 after a conversation with Coach Johnson. And so I think this year is just, helping this team be as good as it could possibly be. I said it several times in the media about how I want to leave this program better than I found it. I want to be that kind of foundation for what Gopher basketball looks like and feels like, kind of lay that brick for the future that is to come with Gopher basketball. So for me, it's way bigger than myself. It's way bigger than how many points I put up or how many rebounds I have. It's, how many great experiences can I have with my teammates? How many, wins can we obviously, put together as a team and where can we set this direction up, in terms of, Gopher basketball, moving forward? Obviously, we have a lot of older guys on this team and, they want to go on to have professional careers and myself included. But, for me, it's how great of a year can we have setting ourselves up for the future of Gopher basketball? Because, PA, I'm a Gopher for life. I've been a Gopher fan my whole life. I've been a Gopher basketball fan since I can remember. So I want to see this program only go up and fully trust Coach Johnson and his staff and what they have planned. So I'm really just looking to have a fun year, experience all these awesome Big Ten arenas, soak it all in, and hopefully win a lot of basketball games.
So when Al Nolan's around, like you see Al Nolan.
Oh, that's my guy, man.
Yeah, you remember when you were middle schoolish, whatever?
Oh, yeah.
How sticky he was as a point guard? Mm-hmm. What about like Vincent Greer? You remember him?
Yeah, Vincent Greer.
Remember how good Vincent Greer was in the key?
Wow.
Undersized. Mm-hmm. Was he left-hander maybe?
He had it both, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he could dribble in the key and get his shot, man. Old school basketball fans will remember like Adrian Dantley played for the Pistons. That he just reminded me of him a little bit.
Yeah, so many. Rodney Williams, Trevor Mbakwe, Nate Mason.
Yep.
You go down the list, the Hollins guys. Just so grateful that I get to be a part of this now. And now it's, kids maybe talking about me. That's such a special thing to me. Try to make sure I give that back to the, the community and the people as much as I can. But yeah, just really excited for this year. I really hope we get a lot of people in the crowd. I think the barn is an underrated arena. I think when it's packed out and when there's a lot of fans, it's one of the most exciting events in all of sports and all of college sports. So make sure you go and get those tickets and come check us out, man. It's going to be a fun year.
Oh, let me close by asking you a question or two that I have to ask you. You ready?
Love it.
How many U18 championships did Taylor Heisey win?
Gosh, 2.
The answer's 3.
Dang, I was going to go with
2016 Canada, 2017 Czech Republic, 2016 Russia. How many world championships non-U18 has Taylor Heisey won?
2.
No, 2023 Canada, 2022 Denmark, 2024 United States. What I'm not going to click on them. We don't have time.
Oh my gosh, I'm struggling.
Okay, let's see. Let's go here.
I got to get this back.
This is your
you're in trouble, brother.
This is your girlfriend, right?
Yes.
All right.
Don't let her listen to this, Maxo.
How many?
I'll scrub it.
Taylor Heisey. How many goals?
Oh gosh, goals.
How many goals did she score in the regular season of the PWHL last year?
Not enough.
Okay, I'll give it to you within 1 or 2 either way.
Okay, let's go.
Regular season,
let's go 16.
Bro, she scored 4 in the regular season. With 9 assists.
Yeah, see, not enough.
Okay.
Not nearly enough.
So she played in 10 postseason games for the champions. How many, within 1 each way, how many goals in 10 games did she score in the postseason within the last year?
Okay, let's go 5.
On
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'm a playoff guy, PA.
Man.
I'm a playoff guy. Forget about the regular season. I'm when it matters. And the playoffs, and obviously she is too, taking the MVP and the
no
title
doubt.
there. So
you and Taylor,
we're playoff people.
Let other people regular season for dough. You guys postseason for dough and regular season for show. I appreciate that. All right, my brother. See you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, PA.
Parker Fox at Parker Fox 24 is my main man. Likewise for Maxwell Fuller, who has the cash thing.
The Fan and two men in a junk truck want to give you a shot to put $1,000 in your hand with our national cash contest. Enter the keyword bank at KFAN.com now for your shot at winning. That's keyword bank. Enter it now at KFAN.com.
Single back offense. Play action Love. Looking, lines up. Rainbows. Watson there. Touchdown. Yes. 44 yards and a Lambeau leap to the north end zone stand. He ran away from the secondary. Buda Baker in pursuit was the last resort, the safety.
Christian Watson began the play on the right side, took it upfield, then bent it over towards the opposite sideline. And he was wide open for Jordan Love.
Why don't you put your pants back on, Slappy?
And the silence you hear is Lambeau Field.
In your face, Milwaukee.
Hey, Senny, how you been?
What's up, Paul? How we doing?
Good, brother. This is David Sinykin. This is the Border Battle. This is David Sinykin, who does Packer Preview each and every Sunday, KFAN. And I'm also co-host of In the Zone with Double T and Greg Popovich, select Saturdays during the course of the calendar year. And the Green Bay Packers were able to dispatch of the Arizona Cardinals yesterday and add a win to make it 4 for them. They're 4-2. The Bears are also 4-2. Then you get the Lions and you get the Vikings off the bye. And you can learn more about Cinny. Follow his work at TC Head Cheese via Twitter at TC Head Cheese. And he also writes about the Packers for Zone Coverage, zonecoverage.com, Zone Coverage, where you can find some amusings and or thoughts from a David Sinykin, the head cheese, the Sultan of Smug. I thought it was effortless yesterday. What'd you think? And good morning.
Yeah, good morning, PA. Yeah, it's exactly what I think we've been waiting to see. Just kind of a complete performance on both sides of the ball. Offense was the best it's looked by far all season, and the defense, Arizona has some issues. They lost Marvin Harrison early, but, Kyler was held to 14 yards rushing after running all over the Niners. And, yeah, I just think from all units, maybe except for our place kicker, very positive vibes coming out of that one. Dispatched of maybe the easiest game left on the schedule. I don't know. Jacksonville in a couple of weeks doesn't look tricky, but these are the games you want to look good in, and they look good yesterday.
I like teams that have problems with players, and then they appease the player whenever they get the opportunity. What I'm talking about is Romeo Doubs. Okay, so if Doubs is skipping meetings, he knows that he's going to get suspended. So that the bubble burst there. They suspend him for a game, then they put him on 2 TDs yesterday, and it seems like all's right with the covenant between him, LaFleur, and the rest of the group. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so. It's not like they went out of their way to just keep targeting the kid. He got 4 targets. He caught 3 of them, 2 for touchdowns. They really spread the wealth. I think everybody had 4 targets or less except Jaden Reed, who had 6. Just one of those days where the offense was, all right, whoever's open, that's going to be the guy that gets the ball. Dobbs made a couple really nice plays, and I don't know if you saw that 4th touchdown pass by Love to Dobbs at the end of the 3rd quarter when the blitz was in his face, and he just rocked one off his back foot, and Dobbs made a great adjustment. It just shows that, he is important to this team. I don't know. None of us really know what kind of mental health stuff he's going through. We hope he fights through that and comes out the other way with the support of his team. The locker room moment with Dobbs was pretty heartfelt and kind of fun to watch. So, I think it's still a story. I don't know that it's something we're going to completely put behind us. I hope it is, but at least for yesterday, he was welcomed back with open arms and delivered for sure.
Cinny, my bad. I thought it was just unhappy with his role, playing time, lack of targets, that there's more to it with Romeo Doubs?
Yeah, he disputed the whole playing time, lack of targets. It didn't really
my fault.
wash. I mean, I think he saw the game plan that week and didn't see that he was being featured, and maybe that bugged him a little. But outside of the week, when he came back to work last week, he said he was dealing with some stuff between his ears and with his family. And, we don't know where the truth lies, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And yesterday had to be a great day for him to come back and do that.
Amen. And best of luck to him and his family or whatever he's going through. David Sinykin at TC had cheese via the X machine. Bo Melton was playing against his brother yesterday, who actually plays a fair amount at corner for the Arizona Cardinals. Did they happen to ever cover each other? Because after I didn't watch it super closely.
There was one play in particular where there was Melton on Melton crime. Yeah, where we saw Max covering Bo.
Yeah.
But not a whole lot. Bo doesn't get a ton of snaps. He was responsible for Love's one interception yesterday when he slipped down and the ball ended up in the corner's lap as he was on the field. So after that drop, I think they went right back to him with a running play, which was cool, but he doesn't get a ton of snaps, even with Wicks going down with an injury. The game plan was such, and the way the Packers had the lead, they kind of took their foot off the gas through the air. So we saw a little of it. You're right. Melton filled in at nickel corner the week before against San Francisco and looked so good that they got to get him on the field. He got a lot of run yesterday.
11:40, super special Cinny, Sultan is smug. Time for about 3 more in quick fire fashion. When we're discussing Vikings football or maybe the Niners or the Rams, like I said it in passing earlier, McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Kevin O'Connell, and Matt LaFleur, it's almost like they see something from the other a week before, and they try to come up with something to one-up one of the other three. You know what I mean? Like O'Connell getting Jefferson and Addison on safeties. He just does it more than I've ever seen in my life. At McVay getting fast running backs on linebackers with pass plays. He's just really good at that. Shanahan, next level Shanny with these gotcha plays with use check, like once every other week. It's next level stuff. LaFleur, the first touchdown yesterday, it's one of my favorite this season with Jaden Reed. I mean, what had to happen when you watch this thing back to end up with linebacker, former Packer Chris Barnes trying to run with Jaden Reed? That play, bottle that play if I'm a Packers fan and dust it off in the postseason. That was a masterpiece play. And you get Reed on the run, man, you know what I think of him. He's sitting on superstar status, and he just gets closer every single game.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. He even does it in game. The highlight you play leading into this segment, they ran that play. It wasn't even one they practiced, but they saw the way Budda Baker was on that when they were in that formation, what Budda Baker's intentions were, and they knew they would have Watson singled up with them, and the double move is going to open that thing up. So that was kind of an on-the-fly play call. Yeah, when you've got a play caller like our two teams have, it does sort of add a wrinkle to watching games because you're going to see things like Tucker Kraft took a snap under center yesterday on 4th down to get a first down. He's never done that before. I think 8 different guys carried the ball for the Packers yesterday. 9 guys caught passes. It's fun to have really creative, smart play callers. And when you've got, obviously, the talent around them, it does ramp up the fun of watching our teams play football. That's for sure.
All right, lastly, for your 4-2 squad. By the way, how about our division? I mean, the worst records for like Chicago and Green Bay 4-2 with great point differentials, specifically your squad.
I know.
And the into the year, I think we chatted about it a little bit at the State Fair. It was kind of like, is this the best division and why, or is it maybe the AFC North? I mean, Baltimore's good, Pittsburgh's really good, Cincinnati's middling, but probably will be better, and Stefanski's bid is a disaster right now. So the NFC North is impeccable. Through the first 6 games for most and 5 for the Vikings. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, for sure. It's going to make these division games must-watch football, beginning obviously Sunday with you guys and the Lions, and then the Lions come to Green Bay the following week. So every division game is going to be magnified. The Bears don't play one until like week 10 or 11, so their bubble will burst eventually. But yeah, I mean, all four teams are on the rise. And as you say, their point differential, I think, are like 4 of the top 5 in all of football, all residing in the NFC North. So, yeah, no, it's crazy times right now. And obviously the Vikes are the biggest surprise because nobody saw that 5-0 start with that schedule. So it's going to make for an amazing November, December, I think, for all of it. It's going to be great.
Okay, so next Jacksonville for the Texans.
No, Houston.
Yeah, you got the Texans at home, then you're at the Jags, then you host the Lions, then you're at the Bears, then you host the Niners. It's relatively meaty up in here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We get by after the Lions game, so the Week 10 bye is, I think, a really good time. But
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested in Houston coming to town. I mean, 2 of the next 3 opponents are one-loss bits. Obviously, the Lions lost a huge part of what they are yesterday, which is terrible. But C.J. Stroud, Jordan Love, it feels like that should not be a noon kickoff, but that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Same time you guys are playing, it's going to be an amazing noon window to watch those 4 teams going head-to-head. But yeah, we'll jump up in horse racing parlance up in class against the Texans, who were impressive against a bad New England team, but they had not been a good road favorite, and they handled their business very well. So I'm really excited to watch Stroud be loved. I think we'll know a lot more about Green Bay, and particularly its defense next week. The defense looked amazing, and the 3 rookies that Green Bay is rolling out there are getting better and better every week. So I'm really curious to see how this defense handles a Texans team, granted without Nico Collins, but still obviously a really talented, explosive offense.
Great job, brother. Have a good day.
My pleasure. Talk to you later.
David Sinykin at TC Head Cheese via Twitter. Final segment next. What's going on over there, Cheddar V? Good to see you, brother.
What's up? How are you?
Ready for the program?
As ready as I can be.
Are you ready for some master control supervising 6 days from today with your undefeated football team, though?
I'm actually not going to be the master control supervisor on Sunday.
Oregon?
No, my daughter, Ingrid, is going to be a Minnesota Vikings junior cheerleader at the game against the Lions. So I will be attending the Vikings-Lions game, and hopefully I might bring kids up to the booth and have them watch you do a call.
Sweet. That'd be great. Right on, man. Well, congratulations to young Ingrid. And speaking of the Vikings and the Lions, tomorrow, 9 to noon, is at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center, specifically the TCO radio studio, with the columnist joining about 9:15. The scribe joins about 10, and the head coach joins at 11 o'clock for a conversation that generally goes between 25 and 30 minutes. And we haven't had one in a couple of weeks. So Covenant catch-up with Kevin O'Connell, head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, tomorrow right here at FM 100.3 KFAN, your good times leader. Thank you, Max Fuller. Thank you, Brandon Molesky. And most importantly, thanks to everybody who took time to listen to 9 to noon today. The program's around the corner, and I'm Paul Allen. Have a great day.
Hi, Rube. In your face, Milwaukee. Temporarily.
Yeah, I might punch him in the face.
Easy credit rip-offs. Good time.
Ow. Surviving. Good time.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Hi, Mr. Allen. How are you doing today?
Ain't we lucky we got 'em?
How you doing, PA? What's going on?
Good time.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.